So let's dig into something you said. I thought something you said there was super interesting, and I think it's a lot of people that are outside the industry don't realize it. You just said that you don't consider Dr. Dolittle your first big break, and I think there's definitely this perception that outside the industry, if I can just sell that first script, everything will be smooth sailing from then. And what's interesting, when I was preparing for the interview, I noticed Dr. Dolittle was in 2008. Your career really took off in 2018. So there must have been 10 years of similar things. You're sending scripts out. And I kind of wanted to get your take on that. What did those 10 years look like between Dr. Dolittle and actually really breaking out and having a bunch of scripts get sold and produced?
Yeah, I would agree with you. There are no breaks, I think. I mean, you could come out with this genius screenplay and it could set the world on fire. Those are rare and few in between. And I have had friends that have their first script get them lots of attention, and then even maybe get them a job, and then they don't know how to replicate it because they didn't do the 10 years of work to know what they did right by writing that script. When I sold Dr. Dolittle, look, I'm not putting it down. I was real money. I was it was Writers Guild minimum, which was, I deposited a check that was like the most money I ever seen in a check in my life. And I was happy to get it. But then it was like, what's next? And I actually, that next year, I was kind of a low time for me because I was married, my day job was taking more and more of my time, and I was feeling like, I'd been working on it for many years, but I was like, is plan B going to be my plan A? I don't know. And I had this idea for this movie called The Pet, which was a high concept movie about a guy who was abducted by aliens and forced to be their pet. It's like an opposite, reverse E.T. And my agent at the time was like, that's a great idea. We could sell this. We could pitch this. I put it together in a pitch, and I still didn't feel solid about it. But we went out, we pitched it. Scott Rudin took a shine to it, and he basically demanded Disney buy it for him. And that felt to me, that job allowed me to quit my day job. That job was like, you need to write this. You don't have time to have a day job anymore. So, I mean, still not a...
And what year was that? How far after 2008 was that?
Well, that was, Dr. Dolittle was 2006. So that was 2007. That was May 2007. So
I got you.
Yeah, so 13 years ago. And then I sold that. It was as big of a sale as I ever made as a pitch. I wrote it. The Disney people liked working with me, and a lot of the cool projects that were going on there were in this thing called the Disney Writers Program, which is a deal for young writers where you make a deal with them for a year to work with them exclusively. They give you an office. You work on various projects in different stages of development. You bring them your own projects. They have an option to renew it for a second year. And it was right after the writer's strike. I had made my first sale. I got into the Writers Guild, and then there was a writer's strike for 2 or 3 months. And Disney Writers Program was really appealing to me. And even though I'd already sold a script, I felt like it would give me some stability, which is a hard thing to do have as a writer. And it was a godsend to me because it really allowed me to work on the craft of writing and not worry about hustling. There was a little bit of hustling involved, but and it really allowed me to establish relationships with producers and people at studios, and you kind of realize that they're not hollow gates. They're they're very obviously intelligent, creative people, but they're people, and which is something as a young screenwriter you don't really grasp because every pitch feels like there's so much stakes to it. Mm-hmm. And it also allowed me to make friends with other writers, which is so critical in being a young writer. That's, if anybody wants to take anything from this away, it's like make relationships with other people, other writers at various stages of their career. That's the most helpful thing.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Selling Your Screenplay podcast. If you'd like to hear the full interview, just go to sellingyourscreenplay.com/podcasts. Or to go directly to the episode, just use the link in the show notes. Thanks for watching.